local patrol.
Tom King.
Sometimes we expect great things.
Christian Arcand.
Things can't always work out the way we expect.
Christian and King. ESPN New Hampshire Radio. Streaming live on ESPNNewHampshire.com. Christian and King. Here's Christian Arcand and Tom King.
Third and final hour here, Christian and King, ESPN New Hampshire, streaming live on the ESPN Radio app and ESPNNewHampshire.com. I'm Christian Arcand, that's Tom King. Sun's fighting its way back out here in southern New Hampshire, where we're broadcasting live on 1250 a.m. in Manchester, 900 a.m. in Nashua, and online at ESPNNewHampshire.com and on the ESPN Radio app as well. Real quick, just wanted to touch on this one more time here, as it's becoming a bit of a story, and I'd like to just sort of say what I have to say here. PK Subban obviously scored the winning goal in the 5th minute of the second overtime last night. Fans showing disappointment would have been completely understandable, but many of them took it to a racist level, basically. And in this particular, this is CBS Detroit that has this right here, saying many of them took it to a whole nother level, seemingly following in the footsteps of Donald Sterling. First of all, I'm not sure who wrote this for CBS Detroit, but what the hell? What is that? In the footstep of Donald Sterling. What are you, nuts?
I told you. The Sterling
Donald
effect.
Sterling was an owner of a team, and not some schmuck with a Twitter account. I mean, come on. How can you equate the two things? If the owner of the team came out and started saying that N-word PK Subban scored the goal and beat us, fine, yes. Then you can say they followed in the footsteps of Donald Sterling.
The Sterling effect.
Unbelievable. Anyway, so because of CBS's corporate policies, they can't put this type of language on their website. So here's a summary of the tweets that we found. And now when they say the tweets that we found, what that means
They're looking for it.
is that they went into the little search bar on Twitter, and if you don't know how Twitter works, you can search basically anything. That's what the hashtags are all about. You search for a hashtag of something or whatever, or you can just search for any word. It's like a spell check kind of. You say you type in the word, and
It's like
then
you're
it finds,
Googling. It's like you're Googling on Twitter.
Right, exactly, and you find out whatever anybody said. So
Of course, I
here's
have no
here's
idea
what these
about it,
people at
'cause I never do
CBS did. After the game, and I can't imagine that anybody who's working the CBS Detroit account is friends with one of these animals who were on there calling Subban an N-word or whatever it was, went into the search box, typed in Subban, then probably typed in the N-word, and then typed in other racial slurs or whatever, hit enter, and whatever they found, whatever came up in the search result,
Oh, they redid?
they retweeted. Or they cut and pasted into this article, which is on CBSDetroit.com right now. It got to the point where Bruins president Cam Neely had to come out and say this: the racist, classless views expressed by an ignorant group of individuals following Thursday's game via digital media are in no way a reflection of anyone associated with the Bruins organization, Neely said. Wish he hadn't said that. Because, first of all, Cam, we know that none of those people represent the Bruins organization. You don't even have to really, there's no use in saying that, because I think that's pretty obvious. If someone who does represent the Bruins organization tweets something like that, then you should deal with them in-house and not make a big deal of that either, say anything public about it, and just have them fired and shamed out of their job and out of their position and make sure they don't work in the NHL again, because that's completely unacceptable, no question about it. Here's my problem with all of this, though, is that if PK Subban had scored that game-winning goal against the Chicago Blackhawks, against the LA Kings, against the Phoenix Coyotes, against you name the team, there will have been tweets from those places of people saying racist things. And, you know, I realize this is all coming on the heels of Donald Sterling, but please, people, get a hold of yourself. CBS Detroit, what are you thinking talking about?
The Sterling effect. I'm telling you right now, it's the Sterling effect.
I don't disagree with you, Tom, but I mean, get it under control here,
but
people.
it's
CBS,
gonna-
what are you doing?
It's going to go on for a while.
Of course it's embarrassing that Bruins fans tweeted that. It'd be embarrassing for any fans of anything who do that. Why? Next time President Obama makes a speech, go on Twitter and type in President Obama N-word. You'll be mortified by the things that these people do. Okay? There's a lot of sick people in the world, and it's not against the law to have a Twitter account, and it's not against the law to tweet racist things on Twitter.
Be.
So it should be, probably, if you and Francesa had your way.
It should be. That's right, exactly.
You know?
But you know Francesa is not very happy.
Why not?
Because
they are just embarrassing.
Fox 1 is giving him a runaround.
They are?
They're preempting him half the time.
Really?
Yes.
When they said sauce.
What? They're preempting
For what?
him for NASCAR practices.
Well, I mean,
they have contracts.
You got to see NASCAR practice.
I know, but
my God.
Oh, he is not happy at all.
They are just embarrassing.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he said that they have not fulfilled what they said they were going to do. And
See, this is what happens, man. You know, you have a good thing going for a long time, then all of a sudden you switch things up.
Switch things up, and it always screws you up.
And it gets all screwed up.
Yeah.
I guess my point here is if you're a journalist, and I'm using that with air quotes right now, if you're a journalist and you find that it's part of your job to go on Twitter and type in PK Subban, comma, N-word, comma, whatever, and then use that to write an article about how racist Bruins fans are, get a life, man. I mean, really. Like, that's the lowest hanging fruit you could possibly pick at, and it doesn't solve anything. It doesn't tell you anything. You don't learn anything. Nothing comes from that except for the fact that, okay, now we know that there's about 15, 20 people who are Bruins fans. Maybe they're Bruins fans. We don't know. They could just be racist people happen to turn on the game and say, hey, a black guy scored a goal. I'm going to go on Twitter and say something about it. Doesn't necessarily mean they're Bruins fans, but that there are these people out there who think that way. And if that's something you really want to be reminded of, then go ahead and do that. But if you want to ignore those people and not give them a soapbox to stand on and shout their racist propaganda from the rooftops, then shut the bleep up and stop writing these articles. That's what I'm saying. Okay? Just stop. What is the point?
I would just go in and type mac and cheese steak, and then I just wait to see where it comes at. Telling you.
Yeah.
It just solves everything.
Right.
Oh.
It really does. I hope they have that tomorrow.
Oh, God.
I'll be very disappointed if they are not.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, there's people.
Look,
these people should be held accountable for their tweet. No, they shouldn't. It's not against the law to tweet those things. Okay,
the internet. People are going to say anything, and there's no policing it.
Right.
There really isn't. Let me give you an example of what happened to me once. I think I might have told this story before. All right, I was covering a North-South hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
North won the game. I forget who won the game. So I go talk to one coach. And then I got to go talk to the other coach. The South coach was the last coach I talked to. Maybe it was the other way around. I don't remember. So, all of a sudden, the South coach just lets me have it. All right?
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
Lets me have it because I did a story on, and he wasn't mad at the story. I did a story on one of his players. There was a rule that because if you're a Nashua resident and you go to a private school, that private school, you don't make the team or you can't participate in the extracurricular athletics or sports team of one school, you can go to that city that you live in, and that school, that public school, because you're paying taxes for that,
right,
and participate on their team. So you could go. I don't know if the evolution of the rule, if it's still the same, this is 4 or 5 years ago. You could go to one school and play for another school.
Okay.
So I did a story on that leading into the North-South game. It was a very, you don't see it every day,
right?
Especially with Nashua and Bishop Curtin, Nashua South and Bishop Curtin. So I did a story. Didn't think anything of it. All of a sudden, the South coach is, how do you let this stuff go on? And he's showing me. He opens it. He's got a printout with all the stuff, all the comments after the story
that
I never looked at. I never even looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you let these on? I said, don't look at me. I didn't do it. It wasn't my fault.
Yeah.
I'm innocent. I didn't do it. But that's an example of what happens.
You can't stop people.
You can't
from doing
stop it.
Especially when it's anonymous, which most of the time it is.
No, it was all anonymous.
Yeah.
It was all anonymous. They could write anything they wanted.
Sure. Twitter, same thing.
I mean, and from a newspaper angle, what we used to do, and I believe we still do it, is the prehistoric days, the only way you could express your opinion was to a letter to the editor, which are still very popular.
Sure.
But for us,
strongly worded letter to the editor.
Exactly.
Right.
We need more mac and cheese steak. For us, what we did, and I'm sure every newspaper does this, is the letter has to have a name, an address, and a phone number of the person who wrote it.
Okay, otherwise they won't print it.
So, what you do is you call.
Mm-hmm.
What the editorial assistant used to do would be to call the person who wrote the letter and say, "Did you write this letter? And is this, this is what you wrote and all that to verify it."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the only way.
In case someone wrote it and signed somebody else's name.
Exactly,
Right, yeah.
And that's the only way it would get in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's
no checking. There's
nothing.
There's
nothing.
Yeah. There's no quality. It's just,
no.
Yeah, there it is.
Yep, exactly.
Here's what I think. There it is on the internet, and it's there forever.
Right.
Yeah. And they'll never know it was me.
Right. You know?
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah.
You know?
It's sick.
I know it.
Texter says if the one who scored the game winner was white, the hate would still be there, just missing the racial undertones. That's true, but
Well, there was a lot of international stuff last night. USA, there was a lot. They were chanting that. I don't get that.
It's pretty
it really
silly.
is. It's Montreal, a big deal. You know.
Right. Because you know how many players from the Bruins are from the United States?
Yeah, maybe.
Are there
3.
any actually?
Yeah, probably a couple. I think it's got.
I'm not sure if there's any.
I don't know.
It used to just be Tim Thomas and Steve Camphor, but I mean, I don't.
That's right. Thomas is gone.
Is Riley Smith? No, Riley Smith. He's from Ontario, I think.
Is he? I don't know.
Oh, let me look that up right now. Yeah. Because that's always funny when the USA chants start.
You know, and I'm like,
or when they boo "Oh Canada" or something,
yeah,
and it's just like, guys, that's your entire team's national anthem.
No kidding,
maybe fall back with that a little bit, you know.
Yeah, I know.
But I don't know. I find that more. I find that funny than I do sad or upsetting or anything like that. Let me see here. Are there who is? Are there any of them? I don't think there are.
Oh.
I'm trying to think of who is from the United States.
None of the top forwards are.
Is Krug?
Sure.
Is Krug from the U.S.?
Krug could be.
Yeah, Krug's born in Michigan. Okay, there's
right,
one.
There's one. Right,
That's
okay.
one.
Yeah.
Let's see. You know that Bergeron, Lucic, Iginla, Hamilton, Eriksson, Chara, Krejci, Soderberg.
They're all Irish.
Yeah.
They're all born in Ireland.
Right. Gregory Campbell. No, he's not.
Wow.
Bartkowski. What about Bartkowski? Where's he from? Pennsylvania.
There
all right,
we go.
2 guys.
All right,
Pennsylvania.
that's 2.
He's from Pennsylvania. There's 2.
Ding, 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 ding.
Corey Potter. Does he even count?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Corey Potter.
counts.
He's from Michigan. Okay, there's 3.
There's 3.
And Kevin Miller is the last one I can think of. Los Angeles, California.
4.
4. All defensemen.
Yep.
Okay. And Riley Smith, where's he from? Yeah, he's from Ontario.
Yeah.
That's what
Okay.
I thought.
So we're at 4.
Yeah, you can tell. You can tell from his accent.
Yes.
You know what's funny is when the guys are from America, but they still have the Canadian accent just because they've been playing hockey so long.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They don't know how to talk, so they just like
All of a sudden they start talking.
They've been in rooms with people going, "Yeah, well, don't you know it?"
A organization.
Right.
Yeah,
They start dropping A's and a boots and all that
oh,
stuff.
yeah,
I mean,
no,
they can't
no.
help it. It's just
No, they
that's
can't.
when you're around people like that, sometimes you take on their accents. And these guys, for the most part, have been playing hockey their whole life with good players from Canada. So
Right.
it just sort of happens that way. But I think that's hilarious. Anyway, so yeah, four guys from the United States. On the Bruins, and maybe only 2 of them will be playing tomorrow because I don't think Potter's playing, and Bartkowski might find himself up in the 9th floor there.
Potter
because,
played in the Red Wings series. He opened it up.
He did.
Hurt. He got hurt.
Right, he was in for Kevin Miller because Miller had the flu.
Right.
That's
right.
why.
Yeah.
So there you go. Now, would you bench Bartkowski tomorrow?
Yeah.
You would?
No, I wouldn't play him. I'd play the other guy. Yeah. I would.
I think I would do that too.
Yep.
But just because I think Mazzaros is more experienced. I mean, we're talking about a guy here who's been in the league a little bit longer. It's the playoffs. Bartkowski didn't seem like he was overwhelmed by the way the Canadians were playing. He seemed more kind of overwhelmed by the moment. He seemed to be, just not making good decisions and not.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't want to say he choked because he wasn't out there, completely whiffing left and right. But he had a couple of bad mistakes that led to goals, and that just makes it worse. So I mean, other guys out there made mistakes too. Okay, he wasn't the only one who whiffed a few times. Boychuk whiffed a couple of times. Kevin Miller had a couple of bad whiffs, but they didn't end up scoring off him. It just ended up turning into an attack that the Bruins eventually were able to get themselves out of. So I mean, those things are kind of subjective to when the goals are scored and when they aren't. It's just Bartkowski, with the 2 penalties, you throw those in as well, and all of a sudden you're looking at a guy who really hurt you last night. And
that's just it. He hurt you. I don't know. You don't want him to lose confidence either.
Right.
But he did hurt. He did hurt you. So, it might be worth going with the veteran.
Yeah.
Who's got a little bit more savvy, and I bet he'll play well if he gets out there. I'm thinking he will, but I mean the Bruins will need to change something. They'll think in their own mind, and they need to change something up. I don't think they do. I think they just play the way they played last night, and they're going to be fine.
Yeah,
that's why. I mean, I really don't think there was a lot that went wrong last night except the final score. Giving up 2 long-range missiles to PK Subban. All right, you got to start blocking his shot. You can't let him have that shot wide open like that from the top of the point.
Who played well for the Bruins last night, in your opinion? Who played really well?
It's a tough one to say.
I have a couple of thoughts, but I want to hear what you have to say.
It's tough to say. You see, they all had.
They all stunk.
No, they all had moments where they did play well.
Yeah.
You know, and Hamilton didn't play that badly.
No.
He wasn't very visible, but I thought Hamilton made a lot of plays that were pretty good. Offensively, Marchand didn't play that badly. I thought he played pretty well. Lucic, I didn't like his game. You know, I'm sorry, I just didn't like it last night. Bergeron played well.
I think the second line bailed out the first
I think
line
the second line played
over
well.
and over and over again.
Everybody wanted to see Bergeron's line out there when it was close to a end of a period. Or
well, they wanted him out there against the Vanek, Descharnais, Pacioretty line, which is where you want. I mean, that's your shutdown line.
Yep.
Of course, you want them out there against those guys. And I think that they played wonderfully. I thought that the line number 2 was by far the best line.
I thought so too.
No questions asked. I thought that was an easy one. I thought Louis Eriksson played an excellent game and almost had the game winner with that shot off the post.
Almost,
remember that?
Yes.
I mean, that was a beautiful shot. He was making a lot of things happen when he was out on the ice with those other guys. And
Ericsson's funny. When you least expect it, he plays. You notice him.
Yeah.
And then he disappears for a while.
He does tend to do that. Yeah.
You know, and that's the thing is it's funny about him. That's why I couldn't really throw him in there.
He gave them a big lift, I think, coming into the playoffs.
Yeah, he did.
You know, he was really, really getting it together and making that third line a really formidable opponent against anybody. You know, I mean, that was one of the best third lines when he was out there playing well. Him and Soderberg together, but you know,
Soderberg didn't play badly.
He didn't play badly. I think that he was a lot better in
Soderberg gets
in the Detroit
overwhelmed.
series.
Soderberg gets overwhelmed sometimes.
Yeah,
you know, he's still not. Don't forget, this is a guy who played elsewhere for years.
Right.
So he's still not, even though he's been in the league now for a year, because it was about last spring when they got him. I still think he's got some more seasoning to do, even at his advanced age, because he's been playing in Europe for so long that you've got to get rid of all those bad European habits and play this style of play.
You're Claude Julien. What's the number one thing on the chalkboard when those guys come in? There was an optional skate today, obviously, but tomorrow when they come in for pregame and everything,
the option.
You would decline the option?
I know I declined the option. I did not skate today.
Oh, you did not?
No.
Neither did I.
No.
Okay. You're Claude Julien. What's the number one thing on the board?
Keep shooting.
Keep shooting?
Yep, that's it. Keep shooting. Don't get away from it. Don't think you got to make the perfect pass, the perfect play. Keep shooting. That's all. That's the thing.
Yeah. I'd say that's right about it too.
Yep.
When you talk about who really played well yesterday, I'd say that second line, Bergeron, Marchand, and Smith were very, very good. Riley Smith even scoring a goal, the only goal a forward scored yesterday, by the way. Even though I think Krejci and Lucic had opportunities between them to bury about 4 more. Probably should have had at least 3 of them, but ended up with 0. Got to say, Chara played a great game. Chara did not let anybody back. He was great on pinches down the middle and off to the sides. Dougie Hamilton played well as also. Johnny Boychuk, very good. Honestly, I don't have any complaints with any of the D except Bartkowski.
I don't have any complaints with anybody except Bartkowski.
Bartkowski's the only one. I mean, he really he was, and it was bad what he was doing. But you know what? Montreal turned the puck over a lot. In their own zone, in the neutral zone, against Bergeron's line especially. I feel like Descharnais, every time he tried to take it over center ice, someone was poking it away from him, and they were going back the other direction. And that they had to stop and turn on their heels at center ice over and over and over again. And that was really encouraging. I thought, okay, they keep this up and they'll be fine. But then they just, you get that 2-goal lead, and the Bruins didn't play like they were trailing by 2 goals.
No, they didn't.
They didn't panic. They didn't freak out. They started really peppering Price and
Montreal
controlling
Montreal got away from their game.
Right.
Montreal played like they didn't have a 2-goal lead.
Yeah.
They just was like we're down. They played like they were down 5 goals.
Yeah.
They just puttered around a little bit.
Yeah.
So now we'll get them next time. But you can't take that chance when you're with the Bruins.
No, you cannot.
And that's why I thought they were going to lose that. I thought for sure the Bruins were going to come back and win that game.
Yeah. You and me both.
You get that many chances. I was stunned to see Montreal win it.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, a brand new edition of Christians Believe It or Not. I believe Tom Rowe and Nicholas Nasty Anastas is going to be in here as well.
Are they going to?
I don't know. If they got the balls, then maybe they will, but I'm not sure that I'm not sure they got them. And you know what? If I'm them, I'd be afraid to come in here at this point. I'd be kind of shook. I'd be like, damn, do I really want to come in here and get it wrong again for the fourth week in a row and go a combined 0 for 12? I'd almost rather just cut my losses, quit while I'm behind, and just stick with 0-9 and never play again if I was one of them. That's what I would do.
Oh, you're really pushing them.
Am I?
You're really.
I'm just telling you what I would do.
You're really pushing.
I'm not saying that's what they would do.
You are really goading them. Oh my God.
I'm just saying if I couldn't get one right in 3 weeks, man, I don't know if I'd be rushing to come back in here.
You are a Montreal Canadian through and through.
Je ne crois pas. C'est impossible. Exactement.
J'ai mes saisons, j'ai mon nom dans le train, j'ai mon obus, j'ai le pouls, j'ai mon nom, j'ai des believers, on a des je t'entends.
Which, by the way, is French for Anastas is a wuss.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep. And so is Tom Rowe.
Yep.
Come on in if you dare. Christians Believe It or Not when we come back.
I'm Will Selva with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. Quarterback Vince Young signed a one-year contract Thursday with the Cleveland Browns. Young has not played in a regular season game since 2011. Quarterback Tyler Thigpen also signed a one-year deal by the Browns. Thigpen was out of the league last year after playing 6 seasons with Kansas City, Miami, and Buffalo. NFL Media's Albert Breer reporting that the Denver Broncos have picked up Von Miller's 5th-year option, which is worth $9.7 million. Miller, who's recovering from ACL surgery, now has 2 seasons remaining on his deal. The Giants exercising their 2015 contract option on Prince Amukamara. The quarterback was taken with the 19th pick in the 2011 draft. He started all 16 games for the G-Men at corner in 2013. NFL Media Insider Ian Rappaport reporting that the Rams will be working out quarterback Johnny Manziel, wide receiver Mike Evans, and offensive tackle Jake Matthews Friday at Texas A&M. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
Right now at the Home Depot, get 3 bags of Scott's Earth Grow colored mulch for just $10. So let's lay it on thick, colorful, and rich with the mulch that comes with a 1-year color guarantee. Make your yard picture perfect, give your plants the moisture they need, and leave weeds with no room to grow. Let's do this. Spring into savings with 3 bags of Scott's Earth Grow colored mulch for just $10. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. While supplies last, selection varies by store. U.S. only. See store for details.
Measure twice, cut once. Words to live by. Whether you're framing a house or getting a pair of Red Wing work boots. That's why at a Red Wing shoe store, we take the time to precisely measure your feet. Both feet. And not just the length and width either. We use the latest digital tools to measure your arch and even your pressure points for a truly custom fit. It's our way of making sure your boots fit your feet as well as your job. Red Wing Shoes. Work is our work.
Get to Peters of Nashua's huge Kia clearance sale going on now. Peters Kia must clear out their remaining 2013 Optimas and Optima hybrids, and that means huge savings for you. How much will you save? How about a whopping $5,680 off MSRP on a 2013 Optima hybrid? And that includes Kia's standard 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. Find this and other offers at peterskia.com. Offer valid on stock number 13K523 with MSRP of $27,580.
Do you owe the IRS? Do you have unfiled tax returns? Have you received a wage garnishment or bank levy? Maybe a lien has been filed against you. OMG Tax can help you with all your IRS tax problems. Don't wait another second. Take action now. Call my team at OMG Tax. Honest and professional, we don't make false promises. If you owe back taxes or if the IRS is garnishing your paycheck, you need help now. OMG Tax can help you get your life back to normal. If you're serious about handling your tax matter, call OMG Tax now and get the peace of mind you deserve. Don't let the IRS take your next paycheck. Stop waiting and call our team at OMG Tax. OMG Tax has a straightforward, no-nonsense approach and has helped many Americans resolve their IRS nightmare. Call OMG Tax now.
Call 1-800-532-8854. That's 1-800-532-8854. 800-532-8854.
Join us Saturday, May 10th at 8 a.m. for the Jonathan Gilmore Scholarship Fun Ride and Walk. The Ride and Walk starts at Hollis's historic Lawrence Barn and features many routes for cyclists and walkers of all skill levels. All proceeds will support Zoo New England's Jonathan Gilmore Memorial Scholarship Fund, and at the finish line, we'll have a barbecue for cyclists, walkers, volunteers, family, and friends. Hope to see you there Saturday, May 10th at 8 a.m. The Jonathan Gilmore Scholarship Fun Ride and Walk. For more details, check out www.jonathangilmore.fund.org.
The war had been gone for 2 years, and I got the calling. I got the calling to join the service and support the boys over there.
Thousands of American troops have come home from the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan, suffering the effects of post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injuries.
I never thought that I would have PTSD. I thought that I had enough coping skills.
I don't think anybody who goes into combat could ever honestly say that they're not different when they come home.
What you take as a simple thing is not so simple for me anymore.
I'm going to have my good days and my bad days, and I really don't like those bad days.
I would say to those people that are out there, don't brush us aside and don't count us out.
Help the USO support these troops and their families. Hear more of their stories at usoinvisiblewounds.org. The wounds are invisible. The stories are real.
This is ESPN New Hampshire, honored by the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters as the best station for breaking sports news and best station for live play-by-play in 2013. This is ESPN New Hampshire. ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
Despite solid effort from Jake Peavy and Felix Dubrunt, the Red Sox lost both games in yesterday's doubleheader to the Tampa Bay Rays. They will resume play tonight with a series against the Athletics at Fenway Park. You can hear the call of the game right here, starting with Red Sox pregame at 6:25 on ESPN New Hampshire. After a shutout loss in Game 3, the Manchester Monarchs face elimination against the Admirals in Game 4 tonight on the road. The puck drops at 7:30. It took 2 overtime periods to decide last night's contest between the Canadiens and the Bruins. And after all the missed chances, Coach Claude Julien says that he was pleased with the effort from the Bruins.
Lots of chances. Sure, we fell behind 2-0, but thought we cared to play for the most part. And obviously in that first OT period, probably the only thing is we got to find a way to bury those great opportunities that we had, and that's probably where, there's some regrets there in not burying those chances.
Game 2 is tomorrow afternoon at CD Garden at 12:30. The New Hampshire Fisher Cats will face the New Britain Rock Cats on the road starting tonight in Game 1 at 5:30. And the Bedford Bulldogs lacrosse team will look to keep the longest active winning streak in the country alive tonight against Portsmouth. The streak stands right now at 47 in a row. Congrats and good luck to the Bulldogs. I'm Tom Rowe. The Sports Center Update is brought to you by Quiznos, located on 290 Main Street in Nashua. It's always lunchtime. Get to Quiznos.
This is the sports station with granite roots. This is ESPN New Hampshire. Christian and King.
Ladies and gentlemen, step right up.
Christians, believe it or not.
Christians Believe It or Not is brought to you by... Who's it brought to you by, Tom King?
Mac and cheese stations!
Mac and cheese, lobster and crab. And that's about it. It's not brought to you by anything except us here. We like to do this once a week these days. And it's a very simple game. The way it works is I have 2 stories here. One of these stories is true. The other story is not. And you have to decide which one is which. Now, it is important to keep in mind that the 3 of you are so bad at this game that you have gotten 0 correct in the last 9 tries combined. It's really, you've been 0 for 3 as a group, but you're 0 for 9 combined.
Correct.
And there is a chance today that we can get into double digits here. We could get to 0 for 12. And I've ensured that this is possible by doing something. The texter actually suggested this to me. Rather than have you guys all sort of just blurt your answers out like we've been doing before, I'm going to have Anastas and I'm going to have Tom Rowe write their answers down. They are going to pass me the answers while Tom King works out his answer. He'll give his answer without knowing what they picked, and with them not knowing what each other picked. That way, we can ensure that everything's on the up and up.
I like it.
And we will have, good a chance as any is that all 3 of you get it wrong once again. Okay. You can play along at home, by the way. Text in your answer to 50352. The topic today is the Montreal Canadiens and what a bunch of jerks they are. Historically. Are you ready?
Yes.
Ready.
Ro?
Yes, I'm ready.
You want to join us here? You
No,
want to put
I'm joining. I'm joining.
You know what? Put that away.
You want me to put this up?
What is
Yes.
it?
No Wi-Fi. No Wi-Fi.
I don't care what it. You put it
Okay,
away
fine,
right
fine,
now.
fine.
He's got an iPad out here like that's okay. What is wrong with you? Oh, yeah, no, nothing.
doing
Just
work.
this giant computer I
I'm doing
have.
work and having
I'm
fun
not
at the
going to
same
cheat
time.
with this.
Work hard, play hard.
Well, if you got work to do, then go do your work.
Tom
if you can't
Kim,
be
the
in here.
Bulldog, Shush. No,
All right.
I want to do this.
Do you?
I need a little vengeance.
All right.
Yes.
I don't even want to
Yes,
see that
fine.
thing.
This is gone.
All right, thank you.
There you go.
Here we go. Story number one.
Nasty,
Story number one. Maurice Rocket Richard played 18 seasons for the Montreal Canadiens before retiring from hockey in 1960. Richard was the first NHL player to score 50 goals in one season and the first to ever score 500 career goals. He is a 13-time All-Star. Believe it or not, during a game with the Bruins on March 13th, 1955, Bruin Hal Layco struck Richard in the head with a high stick. Richard retaliated by viciously slashing Layco's head, and when linesman Cliff Thompson came to intervene, Richard punched him in the face. NHL President Clarence Campbell suspended Richard for the remainder of the regular season, which led to a fan throwing a tear gas bomb at Campbell during a game at the Forum. This forced an evacuation, which led to a 20,000-person riot in Montreal, causing nearly hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. I feel like I didn't read that very well.
No, you did.
You didn't.
I didn't?
No, but that's all right.
I didn't. I stumbled a
You'll
lot.
read it again. Don't
All right,
worry.
I'll come back to it. But anyway, that's the story. Story number two. John Ferguson played 8 seasons at left wing for the Canadiens between 1963 and 1971. At 6 feet even and 178 pounds, Ferguson was not an imposing figure physically, but was a feared enforcer due to his tough chin and powerful fighting style. In 1963, 12 seconds into his first ever NHL shift, Ferguson dropped the gloves with Bruin Ted Green, winning the fight and protecting Canadiens captain Jean Bellevue. Believe it or not, Ferguson's fighting prowess overshadowed his offensive skills until a game against the Bruins on March 29, 1965. With both teams vying for the top playoff seeding in their final matchup of the regular season, the Canadiens trailed the Bruins 3-1 in the third period before Ferguson scored 2 goals in 48 seconds to tie up the game. On Ferguson's next shift, Bruins winger Reggie Fleming came in on a high check against the boards. Ferguson threw off his gloves and chased Fleming around the ice while his teammates looked on in horror. Fleming evaded Ferguson long enough that he was intercepted by 2 linesmen who awarded Ferguson a game misconduct, and the Bruins would go on to win 4-3 in overtime. That is story number 2. Would you like me to recap the 2 stories?
I missed the music. Sure. Where's the music?
Music's coming.
All right.
There it is.
All right.
Yay.
Music's back. All right, let me do story number 1 again because I feel like I really screwed that up. Maurice Rocket Richard, 18 seasons for the Canadiens before retiring from hockey in 1960. First player to have 50 goals, first to 500 career goals, and a 13-time All-Star. Believe it or not, during a game with the Bruins on March 13th, 1955, Bruin Hal Layco struck Richard in the head with a high stick. Richard retaliated by viciously slashing Layco's head, and when linesman Cliff Thompson came to intervene, Richard punched him in the face. NHL President Clarence Campbell suspended Richard for the remainder of the regular season, which led to a fan throwing a tear gas bomb at Campbell during a game at the Forum. This forced an evacuation, which led to a 20,000-person riot in Montreal, which caused hundreds of thousands worth of dollars worth of damage. That's story number 1. Story number 2. John Ferguson played 8 seasons at left wing for the Canadiens between 1963 and 1971. He was not an imposing figure, but was a feared enforcer due to his powerful fighting style. In 1963, 12 seconds into his first NHL shift, Ferguson dropped the gloves with Bruin Ted Green, winning the fight and protecting Canadiens captain Jean Bellevue. Believe it or not, Ferguson's fighting prowess overshadowed his offensive skills until a game against the Bruins on March 29, 1965. With both teams vying for the top playoff seeding in their final regular season matchup, the Canadiens trailed the Bruins 3-1 in the third before Ferguson scored 2 goals in 48 seconds to tie the game. On Ferguson's next shift, Bruins winger Reggie Fleming came in high on a check against the boards. Ferguson threw off his gloves and chased Fleming around the ice while his teammates watched in horror. Fleming evaded Ferguson long enough that he was intercepted by 2 linesmen who awarded Ferguson a game misconduct. The Bruins would go on to win 4-3 in overtime. Nick, Tom, and Tom, believe it or not.
All right, gentlemen, write your answers down. I'll wait.
May I ask one question, please?
Okay.
The second story took place in what year you said? 1965?
1965.
Good.
Tom, okay, I have
confident, Tom?
Nick Anastas and Tom Rose answers right here.
What? One to me seems completely so far-fetched that it could be true, but Rocket Richard was not. He wasn't a real.
Hold on, Tom. I'm going to have to cut you off here for a second. Ro, are you saying that this is the true one or the false one?
That's the true one.
That's the true one. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
I remember John Ferguson. As a coach and general manager of the Rangers, he was very bad. But as a player, I heard he was the nut. So he was a nut more than Rocket Richard was. So I'm going to go with 2 being the true story, 1 being false.
2 is true, 1 is false.
Yep.
That's what you're saying.
That's
okay.
what I'm saying.
And that's your final answer?
My final answer.
All right. I will tell you this. It is not unanimous.
All right. That's good. That's
Nick
good.
Anastas is with you.
Yeah.
Tom Rowe is not.
Okay.
Now, would you two like to tell me how you came to your answers? Because one of you is going to be right here, or 2 of you are going to be right.
I think, again, 1 is too far-fetched with the gas bomb and the riot and all that. It just seems too theatrical for me. 2 is more believable. That's usually what I go with.
All right, Tom Rowe?
Going by the Bruins history that I know, I am pretty sure that in 1965, the Bruins were still not a playoff caliber team. That was the pre-Bobby Orr era, if I'm not mistaken. And just some players' names stand out to me that doesn't make a lot of sense. Reggie Fleming doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I think it just little details of story number 2 is making me believe that story number 1 is actually true because, I mean, Montreal fans are ridiculous as it is. So a gas bomb at the Forum is not the craziest thing to hear in Montreal.
Okay.
All right, there's your answers. All
right.
pretty well thought out, well reasoned.
Right.
The streak is going to be over here no matter what. Let's go to the text board at 50352.
The suspense is killing me.
It is.
Good suspense here.
Yes,
I think we've gone through the song twice now. That's how good the suspense is.
Right, exactly.
All right, so we'll go to the text board right now.
You focus on my answer with the bell of the.
Yes, I'll be focusing on your answer
right.
with that.
Right.
Text board, it's pretty split down the middle.
Is it really?
Wow, really?
Yeah, a lot of people saying 1, a lot of people saying 2. A lot of people playing today. I like that. I like when you guys play along. Well, it's because of the Montreal thing, you know?
Right.
If we're ripping on the Canadians, people like to participate.
Yeah, they
in
also think we're pretty easy fodder right now.
That too.
That's exactly it.
All right. The 2 stories are in. The answers are in. Rocket Richard causing a riot, or John Ferguson getting into a fight or chasing a guy around after scoring 2 goals in 1965. That's story number 2. Richard is story number 1. Tom King, you said that story number 2 is true.
That's it.
Yeah! No! Tom Rowe, ladies and gentlemen, is your winner. Thomas Rowe.
There he goes. He's done.
Anastas.
He's done.
Not even. Tom Rowe, congratulations. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Thank you, Mr. Fleming, because his name was Ray Fleming, and he retired in 1956.
No, there was Reggie Fleming.
It was Reggie Fleming.
He was a real
retired
guy.
in the 50s, though.
Okay.
I do know that. The Fleming thing and the playoffs. The Bruins were not a playoff caliber team in 1965. They pre-Bobby Orr era. They were still in the bottom of the NHL at that time.
Now I'm going to have to check and see if that's true because I don't even know.
You didn't have that in the Believe It or Not part.
Yeah, that wasn't part of it.
That's
but I
going by
did
the
say
Bruins history
that they
I know.
were. I did say that they were playing for
They were playing for the
vying
top
for a
seed in the
playoff
cup.
spot.
But you did not say Believe It or Not. In other words, that was in the straight part.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Oh, really?
I said on Ferguson. No, wait a minute. Okay, yeah. After Believe It or Not, I said with both teams vying for the top seed, the Canadians trailed the Bruins 3-1 in the third period before Ferguson scored the 2 goals. All that I made all that up. That was all just BS.
Yeah, that sounded made up to me.
Yeah. So, but now I want to know.
They failed to make the playoffs in '65. They didn't make the playoffs until 1968.
How the hell do you know that?
Dude, I'm a nerd for this.
You don't know anything about hockey.
Excuse me?
You do not know anything about hockey.
Excuse me.
Come on. Every time we do a game, you always avoid the hockey questions. Don't act like I'm making this up here.
Because compared to football, I'm a nobody compared to the knowledge I know for football.
All right. Let's see. 1965. I'm just going to go and look at this. 1965, the Canadians won the Stanley Cup that year, and the Bruins
failed to make the postseason.
Came in 5th.
Yeah, they didn't make the postseason.
Hey, you know what, Tom Rowe? Props.
Thank you very much.
You know what? You got it right, and you got that part right too.
I am
very
so happy
good.
right now.
You know what? I'm going to give you a second winner. There you go. How about that? Tom Rowe, ladies and gentlemen,
my Tom King impression. How does it feel?
Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, baby.
Good stuff. And that is how we play Christians Believe It or Not. We do it once a week these days. Hopefully Nick Anastas will be back next time if he hasn't, gone and blown his brains out.
I think he's done.
He looked like he was ready to go out and strangle a baby is what he looked like he was ready to do. or like kick a puppy, or just
He's just. I mean, I think he wants to kick Rowe.
Yeah, he may just do that. But you know what? Fair is fair. I did it as fairly as I possibly could.
That was the best way to do it.
Tom Rowe turns out to be the smart one of the group, which is a horrifying thought. And we're going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll give you a Can I Finish, and we'll pass things off to Mr.
we're finished, all right.
Jim Sensabella. And we're back after this. It's Christian and King.
The road, Goodyear is consistently making improvements to deliver superior performance tires. Everything Goodyear has learned making tires inspires what they roll into yours. It's even the official tire of NASCAR.
Goodyear tires are chosen by those who use the world as their proving ground. So wherever the roads take you, choose Goodyear tires with superior traction and handling.
Visit Goodyear.com to find a great set of tires. Goodyear, more driven.
Fox Monday.
It's power.
Oh, my God.
It's the moment everyone has been waiting for.
No way. Trigger an alarm and I'll blow your head off.
24, the series that changed the face of television, returns for an epic 12-episode event.
Why are you doing this, Jack?
I'm trying to prevent an attack on President Heller.
Kiefer Sutherland stars in 24, Live Another Day.
If an American president is assassinated on foreign soil, you're looking at a world war.
24 premieres Monday at 8, 7 Central on Fox.
Share fresh picked flavors at P.F. Chang's with our new Chef Seasonal menu, featuring inventive new dishes and handcrafted cocktails, like our new Pink Cherry Cosmo. Fall in love with our lemongrass chicken spring rolls, inspired from Vietnamese street fare. Or try our Asian twist on carnitas with the sweet and spicy Chino Latino pork, wok-fired and served with vibrant pineapple salsa. Your local P.F. Chang's is the perfect place to celebrate Mom. Make your Mother's Day reservations online at pfchangs.com. See you soon.
For his birthday, I want to send my godson to a playoff game. With the 4-star rated Western Union app, I can send him money conveniently from anywhere and make sure it gets there by tip-off. WesternUnion.com is making things so simple nowadays, and right now, they've got a special promotion going on. Download the free Western Union mobile app, and if you're a new customer, you can send money for 0 fee by using the promo code 2014-2014.
One discount per transfer, no cash value, void where prohibited. This offer expires May 18th. Western Union also makes money from currency exchange.
What is Healthy Care? For those individuals without insurance or with high deductibles, Healthy Care is your new model for primary care insurance. If you want immediate access to medical care, then Healthy Care is for you. If you're unhappy with the high cost of health insurance, then Healthy Care is the answer. No copays, no insurance billing. You will have your own doctor and the flexibility over your level of coverage. If you're interested in changing the way you're insured, stop by the Executive Health and Sports Center in Manchester. Call 603-232-3662 or log on to healthycarenh.com. Healthy Care. Better care for less.
Jay Farner here from Quicken Loans. We get a lot of tweets from folks that sound just like this. Jay, I bought my home in 2007. Since then, it's gone down in value. Now I owe more on my mortgage than my home is worth. Can I refinance? The answer may very well be yes. Recently, the government announced changes that may allow folks to refinance even if their home has lost value. For example, if you owe $300,000 on your mortgage, but your home's only worth $150,000, Quicken Loans may still be able to help you. Or if your current mortgage rate is higher than 3.99%, you've got to give us a call today at 800-QUICKEN. And for 3 years in a row now, J.D. Power & Associates has ranked Quicken Loans highest in the nation in customer satisfaction for primary mortgage origination. So, if your current mortgage is higher than 3.99%, or if you owe more than your home is worth, call Quicken Loans today at 800-QUICKEN or go to QuickenLoans.com.
For J.D. Power & Associates award information, visit jdpower.com. Important terms and conditions apply. Calls for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
This is ESPN New Hampshire, honored by the New Hampshire Association of Broadcasters as the best station for breaking sports news and best station for live play-by-play in 2013. This is ESPN New Hampshire. ESPN New Hampshire Sports Center.
After a shutout loss in Game 3 against the Admirals, the Manchester Monarchs now face elimination tonight in Norfolk for Game 4. The puck drops at 7:30. It took 2 overtime periods to decide last night's contest between the hated rivals of Montreal Canadiens and the Boston Bruins. Here's how it all sounded in double OT.
In overtime for the Canadiens. They are 1 for 2 in the game. Subban wide and shoots. He scores! PK Subban on the power play in the second overtime. The Montreal Canadiens take Game 1.
In a bitter defeat, PK Subban's 2 goals were the difference, and the Bruins fell to the Montreal Canadiens in Game 1. Game 2 is tomorrow afternoon at the TD Garden at 12:30. The New Hampshire Pitcher Cats will face the New Britain Rock Cats, on the road starting tonight at 5:30. Despite solid efforts from Jake Beebe and Felix Newbrunt, the Red Sox both lost both games in yesterday's doubleheader. They will resume play with a series against the A's tonight. You can hear the call of the game right here, starting with Red Sox pregame at 6:25 on ESPN New Hampshire. And the Bedford Bulldogs lacrosse team will try to extend their biggest winning streak, 47 wins in a row, the longest streak in the country, tonight against Portsmouth. Good luck to the Bulldogs. I'm Tom Rowe. The winner of Christian King's Believe It or Not in this Sports Center update is brought to you by Bud Light, a proud sponsor of the Boston Red Sox. Is Bud Light, the sure sign of a good time.
Christian and King on ESPN New Hampshire, 603-883-9900.
Oh, 603-883-9900, your phone number, 883-9900. You can text in 50352. Christian and King. I got a couple of options here for Can I Finish, but I'm not sure which one to go with. Real quick, this one, it was kind of interesting. You know Marcellus Wiley, Tom?
Yeah.
Former player?
Yeah, before we leave, you got to do the derby pick, too, though.
Yeah, we'll definitely do that. Marcellus Wiley, who was a defensive end, he played for about 4 different teams, I think.
Yes.
Smart guy, went to Columbia.
Yeah, what happened?
He went on Twitter and said, Jameis Winston is falling on the sword to protect his teammates and higher up who knew of his publics taking care of players for years. Hashtag yo. I don't know why you hashtagged yo there, but what are you going to do? Not years, decades, but now they want to get him. Someone who doesn't know, wink, wink, called it in, but Winston should know better. You know, I mean, this whole thing is just I don't know. I don't really know what to say about this with Jameis Winston. I mean, we're talking about a guy here who has gotten in trouble for some pretty minor things and also one really big thing.
Right.
So it's kind of hard to say, all right, is he getting railroaded on these big things and on all of these things, or is there a pattern here? This is becoming very, very complicated with Jameis Winston, I think. It's coming really hard to, sort of fall down on this, which just goes to show that people aren't just, good and bad, especially at age 19, 20, 21 when they've been told what a great athlete they are their whole lives. You can be a good guy and have people out to get you and all these things. I don't know what Jameis Winston's like. I never met the guy before, but, people are in such a rush to either brand him as a good guy or a bad guy or character issues or smart or dumb or whatever he is. He's just a person, man. I mean, he's not perfect, obviously, and he's done some stupid things. But, I think that more needs to come out here on all fronts before everybody's going to rush and determine that, hey, this guy's a bad guy or this guy's a great guy or one or the other. I just feel like everybody's in a real rush to sort of define him that way, and I think that's kind of messed up.
Well, we got to, I don't know. I mean,
what?
Yes. You mean Winston?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, what do they have on him for
stealing soda, stealing $32 a crab? I mean, these aren't horrible things. It's not the crime of the century. What he's accused of with that girl is a big deal, and that's obviously something that if he did,
this is just more bad stuff.
Right, but that kind of gets piled on top. That's like a candle in the sun. That's nothing. I mean, that compared to what he's accused of. So I feel like
first of all, don't take something out of a supermarket that's not yours that you didn't pay for.
Right.
Don't do it.
Of course.
All right.
Unless you forgot because you left it under your shopping cart, and you had to make crab legs that
night. Unless you go
to
the mac and cheese station,
right?
And they're making it for you, and you take it and you didn't pay. I mean, you just walk out because it's so good,
right?
That you're just starting to eat it as you walk out the door, and you forget to pay for it,
right?
That I can understand, but taking crap, come on,
Oh, it's not smart. I'm not saying
no,
that,
but I mean,
I'm not saying I think he's intelligent.
You're a Heisman Trophy winner,
right?
He's you got they take that very seriously down at
they do
at the what's the downtown athletic club.
Yeah. All right.
No,
tonight
I just think he's bad. I think the kid's got some issues.
Yeah, he does definitely. Tonight, baseball at Fenway Park between the Red Sox and the Oakland Athletics. Their first meeting of the year. Red Sox looking to get back out there after getting swept in a doubleheader yesterday. The pitching matchup tonight: Clay Buchholz in his 6.66 ERA. Not making that up. He's got a 6.66 ERA. and 1-2 record going up against the immortal Dan Straley in his 5.14 ERA and record of 1-1. Oakland has won 11 of 14 games against Boston. Their last 14.
Peaching.
I know. It really
Peaching.
is. And also tomorrow at 12:30, we will not be bringing it to you, but of course from TD Garden, Bruins and Canadians, Game 2 of that series. All right, with that in mind, let's get to it right now. It is time for Can I Finish?
Can I finish?
Jody
Can I
went
finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Can I finish? Please, can I finish?
I can't answer your question unless you let me finish.
Hold it there, cracker boy. I'm not finished.
All right, Tom, just because we hadn't mentioned him once all day, Donald Sterling's ex-girlfriend / archivist / prostitute / personal assistant / whatever the hell else you want to call her that she was, can now loosely take Donald Sterling up on his offer, allowing her to have sex with black guys. Remember, he said, you want to bring them over and bang them and do whatever you want, do that, just don't take pictures with them?
Right.
Well, Vivid Entertainment honcho Steve Hirsch sent Miss Stiviano a letter offering her a starring role in a sex tape with, as he put it, quote, the most well-endowed black men in all of porn, which I have to assume are pretty well-endowed. If they're the most well-endowed in all of porn, I would imagine that's pretty big. Which, as you know, is really saying something. But Hirsch understands one thing for sure. 15 minutes of fame. He's given V 24 hours to make her decision. Now, if you're Stiviano, Tom, try to imagine that you're a 31-year-old, half Mexican, half Chinese woman who has done a lot of strange things for money. Do you take Vivid up on this offer, or do you wait this out and see how far you can go with your newfound fame? Because once you make a porno like that, it's pretty much over for you.
Yeah, I think you got to ride out the fame.
You gonna ride out the fame, or do you make the porno? Yeah, you're just saying that because you're scared of the most well-endowed black men in porn. I think is really the problem.
I wouldn't get any more.
I am too.
I'm afraid I wouldn't get any more mac and cheese stations.
Anyways, brilliant idea by Steve Hirsch. You can say what you want about these porno guys, about these smut peddlers. That's a brilliant idea.
That is not bad.
You get out there and you say, hey, you wanna really make it big? We'll get you the biggest, blackest guys there are, and you can show Donald Sterling a thing or two about, civil rights. Right?
Yeah.
And by the way, what a tremendously courageous civil rights fighter Mrs. Stiviano is, you have to say. I mean, Rosa Parks, Stiviano.
She's a role model for everybody.
Right there, neck and neck, I'd say. That's my Can I Finish, Tom King.
Well, some Patriots season ticket holders aren't very happy right now. If they're in the end zone
Oh, Section
seats,
39, yes.
Yeah, Section 39, end zone
I'd be pissed off, too.
They're going to make a little club. They're going to make a club for the season ticket holders, the mid-range type season ticket holders.
That's what we need, more clubs.
And they're going to build it right in the area where the end zone seating was. And that knocks the people out of their end zone seats, and they relocated them to what a lot of them consider to be less desirable places in the stadium. And there's not a lot they can do about it.
No, there's nothing they can do about it.
I know it, exactly.
Except
not pay for the tickets, except take the, not do the tickets.
Yeah, just give them back. But that doesn't really solve anything. That doesn't hurt the Patriots. Obviously, someone will just swoop right in and take them up, and they're not going to lose anything. I don't like this because, we're talking about when you start messing with season tickets and the legacies of people who've had season tickets that they got from their dad and their and their uncle, and they pass it down. They had 30, 40 years of season tickets in that one same spot. And you're going to build a little clubhouse now and kick me out? F you. I'd be mad, too.
Well, the stadium's might not be the same spot for some of them because the stadium is just new, relatively new. But, yeah, you're right. No, I agree with it. Just don't take away my press box seat.
They should do something for the people getting relocated.
Well, they should.
They should put together some sort of package for them, give them some jerseys, let them go on the field, let them do something. I mean, you can't just move people like that who have had tickets for a long time and tell them, suck it up, sorry. If you don't like it, give us the tickets back, we'll give them to somebody else. That's bad business.
They'll take a PR hit on this one.
They should.
Yeah, I think they will.
Unless they do something for these people that they move.
That's just it. They should do something.
And they should do something there.
Derby picks.
Oh, right. Shoot.
Come on. I knew you
got the list? You got the list?
Yeah, I got the list right here.
Damn it.
Yeah. All right.
Hold on. Give me the list.
Here's the list right
Who are you picking?
I am picking Dance with Fate. 20 to 1.
Wait, what happened to Tomcat?
There's no Tomcat on there.
There is no Tomcat.
You got disqualified.
Okay, you're saying Dance with Fate?
Dance with Fate. in honor of Nick Anastas and the Believe It or Nots.
You know what I'm doing?
Yeah.
I'm going to pick Danza.
Danza?
Yeah.
All right.
Because I like Tony Danza.
You like Tony Danza.
Tony Danza taught us everything growing up.
That's true.
I learned everything I know about life from Tony Danza.
That's true.
There's a horse named Danza. I'm picking Danza.
All right.
James Sensabella. Hello.
Dance with Fate is my pick.
Dance with Fate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just want to make a quick mention. Tom King never allowed again to sit next to me at a hockey game because just before they score the goal, he said they never score the goal when there's a power play coming out of a period. We gotta go.
No, that wasn't the one coming out of the period.
Yeah, it was. They scored it right
The game
out.
winner?
No, the overtime. The second overtime. We lost.
No, they killed the first penalty.
They killed that one off.
Yeah,
Okay.
it was after
They killed that one. It was an
You
after
still
one.
open your mouth about goals. They hate it.
Tom King should still be banned from pretty much everything. I don't disagree with
Boy
you there.
can eat, let me tell you that.
All
We'll see
right,
ya.
want to say thanks to Danny Picard for joining us today. Congratulations
Don't
to
forget
Tom
to
Rowe
get him
for
in
winning
there,
the Christians Believe It or Not today. We're out of here. We're back on Monday. Everybody have a great weekend. Jim Sensabella's up next. For Tom King, I'm Christian Arcand. Later.
It's time for your Infinity of Nashua keys to the game.
With a season ERA of 6.66 and a home ERA of well above 16, Clay Buchholz will be facing an Athletics lineup that he has not faced in over 2 years. One positive light in the up and down pitcher's performance. The last 7 days, Buchholz has stabilized, averaging an ERA of 3.86. These keys to the game are brought to you by Infinity of Nashua, the official luxury car of the Boston Red Sox. You can find them online at infinityofnashua.com.
Your Infinity of Nashua keys to the game.
Hi, this is Eric Heyman. I felt the boost of testosterone within just a few days of starting Andro 400. It gives me energy, increases my libido, helps me burn more fat. I now wear the same size pants as I did 11 years ago. I have a very physically demanding night shift job. Much younger guys that I work with are so tired that they sleep till 2 in the afternoon. But with Andro 400, I'm up by 10 a.m. My alertness, energy, and stamina are where they were 10 years ago. Mental fatigue, physical fatigue is gone. I love Andro 400.
Guys, do you need a boost in energy and an increase in stamina? Do you often feel mentally or physically fatigued? As the day wears on, do you wear out? Then do what Eric did. Try the safe and natural testosterone booster Andro 400 to burn belly fat, increase your energy and stamina, and say goodbye to mental and physical fatigue. Go to andro400.com. andro400.com.
Sports Stop of New Hampshire is your locally owned and operated one-stop shop for everything lacrosse. Sports Stop of New Hampshire carries all brands of lacrosse equipment for both boys and girls. It's easy to get to, and they are partnered with one of the country's largest .com retailers. So if they don't have it, they can get it. Whether it's beginner packages, team sales, or a huge selection of restraining supplies, Sports Stop of New Hampshire knows your team.
Sports Stop of New Hampshire, 270.